There we go.
All right, we're on?
Yes.
All right, I'd like to resume the September 11th, 2023 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. And we have our counselor, Eric Hostetler, here to explain the background on a tax issue we've been working on.
Yeah, so Eric Hostetler. On the agenda today was a confirmation of assessments for the River by Sewer project, which goes all the way back several years, 2020, I believe. There was a cooperative agreement entered into between the county, DCFA, and the city of Delaware. The city did the project, certified those construction costs earlier this year. Project is complete. And the cooperative agreement contemplated a financing by the Finance Authority, private placement of bonds. And that was to be concluded within 90 days of that certification. Well, that financing has not been closed yet. And so the question that I was waiting on today was whether the parties wanted us to go ahead and certify the assessments only with the construction costs, which would mean there would be no financing. It would just be the city getting paid back over 20 years with no interest. So that alternative was not favored. Instead, they'd rather wait to let the financing close later this year, and instead of certifying for 2024 collection, we'll certify for 2025 collection. So that's the complete rundown. So long wait for no action recommended today.
So Delaware City funded the construction cost?
They funded the construction cost, and the financing would pay the city back.
Right.
And then there would just be an interest cost assessed over 20 years, collected from the property owners that are benefiting from that improvement. So instead of just assessing those construction costs, the parties wish to defer that time period in which the financing needs to close, and then we'll do the certification after that time.
So the neighbors out there in that area, they won't see any impact on cost for another year?
I mean, there will be capitalized interest, because the bondholders need to be made whole. So there is that component to it.
But the project is complete.
Yes, it is.
And do the residents have the option of paying it off, paying their obligation off? And then
No, they don't.
So it's one.
Yeah, so
financing
tentative assessments were approved back when the project was authorized. Property owners have a right to appeal, but I think we all remember the history of this project. They were kind of in a stuck position.
Yeah.
I think they all understand.
Yeah.
They've just been waiting. Actually, the costs did come in lower than
What was projected.
originally estimated, so there is that benefit. So if they look at their tentative assessment, it may end up actually being lower in the final assessment. So.
But there won't be any assessment until this is all resolved?
Yeah, we won't doing the confirmation and the certification until the financing is closed, so we know those exact costs. I was not comfortable recommending that we proceed with any type of estimate.
Sure.
That's just not appropriate
Yeah.
under the statute.
Basically protecting the interest of the city.
It protects the interests of everybody to make
Everybody,
sure that we have the
yeah.
correct numbers. Because if for some reason the final assessments came in higher, there is a notice provision that we have to provide them notice, and they have a new opportunity to appeal it. So there's an entire process. It's just inappropriate to proceed until we have those final numbers.
Do you have any idea when the closing would occur, Eric?
I've gotten assurances that the private placement purchaser is going to confirm later this week, and DCFA's counsel has indicated that then they can close relatively quickly within 45, 60 days.
Okay, good.
So you said all the construction is done, the project is done?
Yep.
Okay, just a matter of getting the financial house in shape
Yep,
before
that's
we
right.
proceed.
So this project all started from the EPA issuing an order that
That's
the
right.
It
private
goes back to
sewer,
when Tim Hansley was here. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember us having that
I think
conversation.
that was the start
the
of it.
private sewer system had to shut down.
Yes, that's right.
So they are now connected to city sewer infrastructure, and I'm not sure what they have done with their old package plant. I guess that's another question, but that's not our problem.
Yeah.
Curiosity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, again, we're glad we were able to help the residents. Nice subdivision
Yes.
in a tough
Yeah.
spot.
Yep.
So we helped the township and the residents because
Yep,
I
the
think
township was very much in favor, and the assessment for the roads, there was also the portion of the street improvements. That assessment is currently being collected each year, so there was that component to it as well. Township was very much in favor. Normally, when you levy an assessment, you don't get thank you notes, but we got thank you notes from some of the property owners.
Well, again,
Yeah.
they were stuck. I
Yeah.
mean, selling a house with no, with no sewer beyond the next year or two
Yeah.
would be really difficult.
Yeah.
And
They, through this process, they were able to protect all of their investments out there.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think since it's done, some new houses have gone up out there.
Yeah, I drove through it a couple of years ago when we were in the middle of this, and
Yeah.
there was a couple of new homes going up.
Yeah.
Those never would have happened otherwise.
Right.
And this was a one-of-a-kind circumstance, too. I know.
I want
others
to
have
emphasize
tried
that,
to
yeah, I'm glad you brought that
use
up.
it.
Because this was a very unique circumstance that I don't think would be replicated elsewhere in the county, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
thanks to you, thanks to
Thank
the
you.
city, thanks to the Finance Authority. Again,
Yes.
it's been, the financing has been delayed, but, the important thing is the project got done, and it did. So thanks to everyone who did that. Questions, comments? Jennifer, we're all done here?
Okay.
All right, we are